If you've struggled with stress, balance, or burnout, and simply feel discouraged or even defeated, and if you're ready to move from force to flow and enjoy ultimate Zen success in your career, health, or relationships, then the Zen Success Show is for you. Your host, Carissa Sims, is an entrepreneur, corporate consultant, best-selling author, meditation teacher, and healer who has found her own Zen success. Here's your host, Carissa Sims.
Welcome to this week's episode of Zen Success. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Roberta Grimes. Roberta is the author of 7 nonfiction books, including The Fun of Dying and Liberating Jesus. She graduated from Smith College and Boston University School of Law. She pursued a career as a small business attorney, married, and reared a family. Roberta has spent more than half a century researching what actually happens at and after death as a compulsive hobby. The result has been her present part-time additional career as an author, podcaster, blogger, and an afterlife lecturer and specialist. Amazing. Welcome, Roberta.
I'm so happy to be with you. We're going to have a lot of fun with this.
Yeah. I was amazed that it's part-time. I can't believe it's full-time. What do you do the other half of the time?
Well, I'm still practicing law. I think I'll never get it right. So
amazing.
I keep
you
practicing.
Bring that spiritual light and truth to the law.
Yeah, I decided in law school that I never actually wanted to be a lawyer. So you come up with something else to do with your knowledge. And I discovered that the owners of small businesses, primarily they were families, needed the knowledge I had, and they didn't need to go to court. They just needed all that knowledge. So it's been my joy to work with these families that own businesses in every conceivable field. You would not believe all the things people do to make a living, and they're very good at it. They do a wonderful, wonderful job. They just need all the knowledge that all kinds of things come up. So I've had a wonderful career, and it still goes on.
That's amazing. And you're empowering them, helping them, with everything that they need. I'm a small business, so I definitely understand the need for that education that you provide. And also just like your guidance and your bright light. I'm sure they just appreciate your energy. Your energy is amazing.
Yeah, I love what I do. I truly do. You couldn't make me stop. I just love it.
You couldn't make me stop. I love it. So I guess there's no retirement in your language. Oh, no.
I love doing this. I would do it for free. Although don't tell my clients that, but I would do it for free.
Yeah. Because you get it as much out of it as they get out of it, right? You're thriving, and it's a mutually beneficial relationship. Well, let's talk about your past and your spiritual connection. Do you feel like it's important for everyone to have a spiritual connection?
I think it's the reason we come to Earth. In fact, I know it's the reason we come to Earth.
Oh, really? That's amazing.
Yes, it's the reason why we undertake these lives on Earth, is to develop a spiritual life.
Amazing. Okay. Everybody hear that and take that in. Take a deep breath in. Yes, we're here to live a spiritual life. And I wanted to hear about the story of what happened when you were a little girl that made you realize just how important this is, the spiritual connection to God, the universe, yourself, whatever you might believe.
Well, I grew up, insofar as until the age of 8, I grew up as a good little Christian child. And one day when I was 8 years old, one night, I think it was about 4 a.m, I woke up and I knew there was no God. And I was terrified. I mean, I until then I had known there was a God. Now suddenly I knew there was no God. And
you had this undeniable confidence Like you just knew, there was no denying it.
Yeah, it was suddenly I was living in a void, and I was terrified. And then there was a flash of bright white light in the room, and a voice said, "You wouldn't know what it is to have me if you didn't know what it is to be without me. I will never leave you again." And I thought, oh, that's handy. If you forget there's a God, they remind you. And I went right back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And when I woke up in the morning, of course, God was back. And I thought that was normal. When you're 8, you think everything is normal.
Yeah.
But I didn't know where the light came from. I wanted to know. And I assumed, since it was normal, that somewhere that tell me what had happened. I'd learn about it in Sunday school or in school or somewhere. But of course, I never asked a question, so I never got an answer. And
it's so fascinating.
But you assume these things. So eventually, when I never asked a question and never got an answer, I majored in early Christian history in college, because I assumed there they would tell you what happens if you forget there's a God, you get reminded. I assumed that about it there. But of course, I didn't know about it there either. But I did discover that if you love hot dogs, you should never watch hot dogs being made.
That is a fundamental truth. I can imagine that. You know what's interesting about your spiritual experience is that this whole thing, it felt like this yin and yang, this like removing and then coming back, that contrast, the light and the dark, this coming back so that you could experience the fullness of the light, the fullness of the love that is always there for you. Don't you find that fascinating? Because I haven't heard that before, like the void and then the fullness.
What was that light? Where did it come from?
Yeah.
I didn't really learn till much later, decades later, what that light was. Obviously, that was the light, that was an astral light. It had come from the astral plane. And the voice was the voice of my spirit guide. I didn't meet him until 2015 when he appeared to me.
Okay, so you're saying at that time, was it God? Like what? It was your spirit guide?
Yes, it was my spirit guide's voice. I didn't hear it again till I was much older, and I was retirement age when I next heard it.
Oh, interesting. So at the time, did you think it was God?
I didn't know what it was. I wasn't.
Okay.
It was they. I wasn't prepared to assign even a name to it. I just assumed that there was some sort of a very efficient system that would remind you if you forgot there was a God, they would remind you. Oh,
interesting.
My mother heard a voice also when my father was dying. She also saw a light and heard a voice, and that voice said, they're not always poetic. The voice said, "We're giving you a few more days with him so you can get a few things straight." And when she told me about this, she thought it was God's voice.
Yeah.
I think most adults probably would assume that, but I didn't when I was so small. But this is another, spiritual experience that people have. They're extraordinary. There are various kinds of extraordinary experiences, and this is a more unusual kind. But they're in the Bible. Moses with his burning bush that was not consumed. That was the same experience.
Interesting.
Paul, before he became Paul, was a great persecutor of the early church. His name was Saul, and he had it on the road to Damascus, and it knocked him, down. And it was a voice of Jesus came out of that light and said, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" Same experience. It's a rare experience, but it does happen to people.
Interesting. Do you think that there are certain people who are more open to it or are messengers? Because to me, it seems like you have a powerful message to share with others. And this experience was like a vehicle for that inspiration to really like guide your life.
Yes, was meant to guide my life. I'm sure that's true.
Mm-hmm.
It was my, I have a message that I'm supposed to be giving, and this was my wake up guide from my spirit guide.
Amazing.
He's very pushy.
Ah!
He is. I'm sorry, Thomas, but he's very pushy, and this was how he got my attention as a child, and he really did get my attention.
That's interesting. At this point in my life, I'm not really sure the message I'm supposed to be giving, but maybe through this podcast, like highlighting people like you to share your message and shining your light, that's rewarding for me.
If it feels right, it probably is what you're supposed to be doing.
Okay.
We all have different things we're supposed to be doing. And
yeah.
I mean, I didn't get started doing this till I was retirement age, doing all the stuff I'm doing now. And I was told at the time that was the plan. There were all sorts of other things I was supposed to be doing to get ready to be doing this public work. I didn't get started on it until I was retirement age.
Interesting. And what's your podcast? What's the name of your show?
Seekreality.com is the website associated with Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. And it's just 10 years old this month.
Oh my God. But, congratulations.
Thank you. But I didn't even know what a podcast was when I started doing it. Someone reached out and said, hey, you should have a podcast. I said, whatever. And I started doing it. And
oh my God. That's amazing.
I didn't know it.
Well, I would love to be on your show, Seek Reality. It sounds amazing.
Fair enough. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, will you share about your prolific writing, your book series, the fun of, so you started this whole theme of having fun, like the fun of dying, which again, it feels like this dichotomy of light and dark, fun.
It's all light. The title didn't come from me. I wanted to call it Dying for Dummies, because I figured that probably I couldn't call it. I didn't know. Everything else would probably be taken, but my publisher wouldn't call it that. He said, "Come up with something better." And so Thomas came up with The Fun of Dying. My guide did. I woke up with the title in my mind. In fact, it was I woke up with The Fun of Dying, The Fun of Staying in Touch, and The Fun of Growing Forever. All three were in my mind. And I thought, oh, those are good. They're good.
Yeah.
But it is the most fun the most fun you've ever had in your life will be on the day you die. That's true for most people. Partly because you don't expect it to be fun.
Yeah.
You think it's going to be such a downer.
And everybody around you in society has this like the mourning and the grief and everything. Yeah.
It's joy. It's so much fun.
Wow.
I mean, you never thought you were going to see your childhood dog again. And there your dog is going, here I am again. And your mom looking wonderful. And everybody's there. It's playtime.
It's playtime, baby. Well, have you ever had a near-death experience?
No, because they have nothing to do with death. This is something it's important to get the word out about. They have nothing to do with death.
Oh, this is part of your message too. Okay, so what do they have to do with?
They are weird out-of-body experiences which happen when your body can temporarily not support life. Many people, all of us, virtually all of us, I can't say all because, you can't say all about anything. But during sleep, and our bodies have to sleep, our minds never have to sleep. So while our bodies are sleeping, usually almost always in the first part of the night, our minds will astral travel.
Oh, but yeah,
that's-
not everybody. I believe I definitely do that in my son. Yeah. But I always thought that there was also metaphors, that I wasn't necessarily traveling.
No, often we will just get out of our bodies inside. I sort of think about it metaphorically as getting out of our bodies and having a cigarette, and we stay in the room. It's like getting out of our bodies, because you don't want to have to be associated with our body all the time. So we get out of our bodies. We might stay in our room, chat with our spirit guide, chat with mom, who's been dead for 40 years, and just relax. But often we will astral travel, because the astral plane is at roughly the same place that we are, just at a higher vibration. It's right here. And so we just travel. It's easy. As long as we stay attached by our silver cord with our body, the silver cord will infinitely stretch. And so we travel. And so what happens when we have a near-death experience is the body is shocked in some way, and it temporarily can't support life. And so our energy body will leave our physical body temporarily and either stay in the same room, or sometimes it also astral travels. Our spirit guide is right with us. And sometimes it'll go quite a distance and travel in the astral plane. And our spirit guide will give experiences to us, and we might be very aware of those experiences. It might put us into a mimic of hell, of heaven, of weird things, but they don't have anything to do with death, or don't go anywhere near where the dead people are. To say that has something to do with death is weird. It's unfortunate that when he wrote his book, Raymond Moody called them near-death experiences, because they are not anywhere near death.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And well, sometimes people will die and call them a near-death experience, but it's like they're just really having a spiritual experience.
They have not died. If the silver cord is still attached, they have not died. If the silver cord breaks, you can't come back to life. So if somebody is telling you this story, that person has never died.
Got it.
If they're telling you the story, they never died. They didn't die.
What is this silver cord that you're talking about?
That's a term from the Bible. It's actually an energy cord that attaches your mind, to your physical body.
Okay.
The term comes from the Bible, the silver cord.
Okay.
Very stretchy. You can go to the edge of the universe while your body sleeps and come right back.
Okay.
Because there's no distance and there's no time.
And do you feel like it's safe to leave your body, or do other spirits like come in there and like attach, or?
It's protected. It's pretty well protected, so it's quite safe. But I understand why you would think that it might not be. And I just soon stay pretty close to home. I don't have.
Yeah, I do. I feel the same way. I like my body. Yeah, I like my body. I want to stay in it, but it's good to know that there's that protection anyway.
Yeah, the Monroe Institute will teach you how to astral travel if you ever are interested in learning how to astral travel. And your listeners should know that you can learn how to do it. And some people get very interested in learning how to do it.
Right, doing it consciously. So tell me about the writing of these books. Were they channeled, or how did you?
I wish I were a better writer, but yeah, they were all channeled.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm humble about it.
They're channeling through you. You get credit on this earth plane, right?
Yeah.
You're just so humble.
If you hear thunder, that's because we're in Austin and they decided to have a thunderstorm right about now.
Maybe it's both of our energies coming together. It's like the universe is like Thunder.
And my husband just came in just before we were doing this. And he said, by the way, they're going to have a big thunderstorm. I just got notice. I said, well, they could have their thunderstorm, but we're still going to do this program.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I actually really love thunderstorms. There's just, it just.
Move to Austin, you'll have your share.
Oh, yeah.
Your share.
Yeah. In Colorado, I have a pretty good amount here. We've had a lot of rain, more rain than usual, I would say. More rain than usual for the summer. It feels biblical, to be honest.
Yeah, when the rain starts to get biblical and you get to the point where you say, maybe we should be building our ark right about now.
Yeah, exactly. And my husband was reading the forecast. It's going to be raining for 7 days. And I was like, that's from the Bible. Oh my gosh. So that's wonderful. So you had these books were channeled, and then did you self-publish, or what did you decide to do?
I used a small publisher. I originally, I've used big city, New York publishers. My Thomas which was published by Random House Doubleday, and it was an awful experience. I can't begin to tell you what a bad experience it was on several levels. And
what happened?
Well, number one, they immediately bought it, and they loved it to pieces. And they were going to, oh my goodness, all the publicity they were going to do. It was going to be wonderful. And then they decided they were going to hold it for 2 years because they wanted it to come out in at a certain time, and it was going to be published right immediately on the same day that Bill Clinton was inaugurated. Oh, it was going to be the best thing ever. And then right before it was going to be published, my acquiring editor, who loved me to pieces, was lured away to get her own imprint at a different publishing house. They wouldn't let her take it, and she was very upset. And they gave me to a rookie who immediately killed the book.
Wow. And that's so interesting.
This was my introduction to being published by the City House. I had no control over any of it. And the first thing that had, then this new editor told me that my book was immediately going to die, which immediately it did.
Mm.
And so I said, oh, okay, well, what do I do now? And she said, well, you'll have to write another book. And, I'm sorry. My feeling was, and so I said, okay, well, I would like the book back. No, you never get it back. We own the rights, and that's it. Well, fortunately, that was before they figured out that many years later, after, whatever, I was able to get my rights back to that book. So now I own it again, and I put it back in print.
Oh, congratulations.
Right. But what that taught me is never, never, never let any publisher own your book. You own your book, and you control your book. And that's what I do with all my books now. So I use a small publishing house, which respects me as the author of the book. Even though I'm not the author of the book, that's a technicality between me and my guides.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about the royalties. It's about it's about sleeping at night. I think that's the main thing it's about. Nobody can decide. Nobody can treat me the way I was treated by Doubleday, ever again.
Mm. And you were probably pretty savvy because you're a business attorney.
Yeah, but I'll tell you another thing. When I read that contract, I couldn't change it. I couldn't negotiate. Nothing.
Yeah.
And then 30 years later, I was given, but by someone who was loved by someone else in that same Bertelsmann, I guess, or whatever, in the same family of publishing houses, showed me their contract. They were being loved by them too. And it was the same exact word for word contract I had signed. They had changed a single word of it. And he also had no negotiating possibilities.
Oh, wow.
And he was
So
being
this is
given
more
the
recent,
same
and so things haven't
identical-
changed, is what you're saying.
No, and he was being given the same identical advance that I got 30 years earlier. I think it was $30,000 or something. I mean, it's like these people are dinosaurs in New York. They're dinosaurs.
They gave the same amount of money.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That's
And he loves him to
interesting.
pieces too. He was going to be the next whatever.
Yeah.
And you know what? When he came back to me, a couple of years later, he had been in just another, a new author they had thrown at the wall to see if he would stick. He didn't stick, so now they didn't love him either. So why anybody would publish in New York is beyond me. These people are just cannon fodder, thrown out of the cannons.
Yeah.
It's just terrible.
Wow. That's so interesting, because I never even tried. I didn't think I had a chance. I mean,
You don't have a chance. You may as well not bother.
Yeah.
There are small publishing houses.
Yeah.
Will treat you with love and respect, and nobody makes any money. Your chance is 1 in a million to ever make money, but you can be published, and you can get, you can use your book to reach people and to teach people. And that's what I use my books for, to reach them and to teach them. That's it.
Yeah. That's wonderful. So that first book, My Thomas, that was about your guide?
Yes, because in a previous lifetime, the lifetime before his last one, before he stopped being incarnating, he was Thomas Jefferson. And so in order to prove that I could channel, he used that book. When he was Thomas Jefferson, he never wrote an autobiography, but this is a story. It's a perfectly beautiful book. It's about his 10-year marriage, which also spanned the Revolutionary War. It's the best thing I will ever write. I didn't write it. He channeled it. But
oh my gosh.
It's just a beautiful love story. Oh my goodness.
I was just getting the hit that it could be a wonderful series
Oh, it could be. It's just a beautiful love story.
Yeah, I love love stories. Yeah.
I'll send it to you. I mean, it's just no, seriously, it's just a beautiful love story and very, very accurate.
Yeah.
But he was so in love with this woman that after she died, he never ever married again. The whole Sally Hemings thing is bunk. It was his brother who was the father of all those slave children. But he protected his brother by never saying a word about it.
Oh my gosh. So the truth came out, because, that was like the thought that was coming in my head, and then you brought that out. That is amazing. It's because he has so much integrity.
He was the famous one, so they blamed it on him, but he was not the father of those children. The circumstantial evidence already proved to me that it must have been his brother and not him.
Yeah.
His brother, it wasn't him.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I'm like getting into this story. I'm like, oh my gosh, the brother, did he live there?
And gossiping we're doing. We're not talking about anything serious.
Okay, let's get back to you now. Okay. So we got this. How did you find this small publisher and realize that this was the place for you?
It just in the field. This is a small field. Everybody knows everybody else in the field of afterlife studies.
Oh, okay. So it specializes in the afterlife.
Yeah, very much. Right.
Okay, wonderful. So let's talk about your latest book that you're promoting. It's The Fun of Loving Jesus. What is it about, and what inspired you, and was it channeled?
Oh yeah, of course it was channeled.
Of course. Okay.
Well, here's the thing. Since we're breaking all the news, Jesus,
Breaking news, breaking news. Wait, where's the thunder?
yeah, you
Cue
should
the
have
thunder
those
and
red
lightning.
things that's flash, flash.
Yeah. Breaking news.
Jesus did not found Christianity, not at all. In fact, he founded an entirely different movement. And the movement he founded is still buried inside the Bible. It's just that Christianity does not follow his movement at all.
Now, I have a question. Did Jesus come to you? Is this a channeled message from him?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've spoken
Yes.
with him about this at length.
Yeah.
Or he ever was the Jesus we know. He was an incarnated being.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he's an ascended master when
Yes, long before, like 6,000 years ago, he was. And this is something that he wanted to get out. He wanted people to know this. He was one of us a long time ago.
Okay, now I'm going to say, now I didn't know I was going to go here, but I'm very curious because I had heard, and this felt true for me, that actually Jesus did not die on the cross because he was so enlightened. They were scared, like the Romans were scared to like kill him. So he actually escaped and lived a full life and just like disappeared and went into the light. And like, that's how he left this planet. But what's your opinion?
He died on the cross.
Okay.
And the proof is in the Shroud of Turin.
Okay.
Which still exists.
Okay.
There's the energy that it took to produce the scorch on the Shroud of Turin, which wrapped his crucified body. Is so that to produce that scorch, we could not produce it today. We could not produce the amount of energy to produce that scorch even today. He was able to produce it.
Oh, okay. So he was able to do it as a message.
No, to reanimate that body.
Oh, got it.
Just think about that. In all the reactors all over the world, we could not produce that level of energy. Yeah.
Interesting. That's pretty amazing. So you are a Christian now? Are you religious or?
It used to be, but the religion that is Christianity was created in the year 325 by the Roman Emperor Constantine, and he built it on the ashes of Jesus's movement.
Yeah,
which he had created by sending out his apostles, and they taught what Jesus had taught. And he had millions of followers all around the Mediterranean Sea. He had a beautiful, powerful movement started. And they followed his teachings, which are still in the Bible.
Yeah.
But Constantine destroyed that.
And
instead, he created the Christian religion. And the Christian religion teaches things like that Jesus died for our sins, which Jesus did not teach. That's nowhere in the Gospels.
So what was the purpose of his death?
The purpose of his death was to teach us that we do not die, because he kept telling people.
Oh my God. That was his purpose. And so now you are.
How could he teach us that we don't die? Because at the time, what they used to do is they would lay out bodies in these caves.
Okay.
And the bodies would decay for a few years until there were bones left. And they would put them in boxes, these bones in these ossuaries. And so he was telling everybody, you don't die. You don't die. You're eternal. And people said, oh, yeah, you're trying to fool us, Jesus. We know better.
Uh-huh.
My great grandpa, those are his bones. You're telling me he's not dead? He's dead. There, look at it. We love you, Jesus, but we're not fools. So what Jesus did was that he allowed himself to be crucified. So publicly, so people would see he was stone cold dead. Look at me, I'm dead now. Although he didn't say it.
Right.
But he allowed himself to be killed and laid out just like all the other bodies. Only then 3 days later, he animated that body. It had already started to decay, though. That's the problem. And he walked that body out of that cave. And the problem was it was already pretty rank at that point. That's why he told Mary, he said, don't touch this body. He knew it was too fragile for anybody to touch it.
Mm.
And within a couple days, and I can pinpoint when it happened. You can pinpoint it. That's the beauty of the Gospels. You can see where he stopped using that body and he threw the body away. But he made sure that when he appeared in the room, that's when we know it happened. He appeared in the room where Thomas was. He said, Thomas, put your hand in my side, touch these wounds. Well, he made on his astral body, he made the wounds appear. And doubting Thomas, touched those wounds. But the point was, he wanted to show people, see, I didn't die and neither will you. That was the point of his crucifixion and his resurrection, to prove to us that we don't die, and we don't die. It has been 50 years we're searching, and I can promise you, we do not die. Life is eternal. But that's why Jesus went through the crucifixion. That's why Jesus resurrected his body. And for the 40 days after he did it, he was on earth wearing what we call an astral body.
Okay.
That's why he did it. Had nothing to do with the nonsense that Christianity teaches, the negativity that Christianity teaches and has taught for the past 1,700 years.
Yeah, because Jesus, is it your understanding that Jesus never wanted to teach that you are a sinner? Like, I mean, it doesn't feel like that would be even part of his vocabulary.
No. I mean, he had to use some words that were foreign to him because of where he was.
Okay.
He had to stay alive for 3.5 years, almost, just under 3.5 years, because there were things he was trying to teach. And he had to stay ahead of the people who were trying to kill him. He ended up being killed anyway, but he wanted to die at the right time, in the right place, in the right way, because he had something important to teach, which is that we are eternal beings.
Yeah, that's amazing. So is that what you mean when you say we survive our deaths because it's not really a death? And then do we live like a new life into the future? Like we have all these past lives, and
that's our real life. That's our real life. And the past lives, each of them is not real, just like this one is not real. They're just like bad days in school, every one of them. That is our real life. When we go home, we're going home to our real life.
Oh, got it.
You go, this is home. I forgot. That's going to be your real life. That's going to say, oh, I forgot all about it. Here it is. I forgot. How could I have been so stupid to think that was real? This is real.
Because what's real is our spirit and our connection to source.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's so interesting because what about people who remember past lives or Akashic records or past life readings? Is that all aspects of us that are the same being, that are just like fractals?
Well, I don't know if I'd call them fractals. you are a part of Source. Yes, you are an eternal being having an experience. This is just a bad day in school, but you're learning. And that's really why you come here.
Yeah.
Each of those other quote lives has been learning.
I see. Yeah.
And, you're learning stuff.
And it's all unique. But I sometimes find it helpful to heal that, to connect with that, and to help with issues in this lifetime.
Yeah, it can help.
Yeah.
But still, the issues in this lifetime are not there. You are so much bigger and more wonderful and more amazing than any of them.
Amazing. Yeah. Because you're thinking of yourself as your problems or too like smaller than you truly are.
Yeah. I mean, people have, if you had a tiny, even hint of how big and bright and wonderful and amazing you are, you would just be stunned to have any sense of who you are. I mean, when Thomas and I talk about this, Thomas being my guide, I'm amazed by his lives. And I mean, he and I have had 17 lives together. And he says to me,
17 lives. That's amazing.
We have lived 17 lives together. But he says, he says, if you understood any of the lives you've had, you would not be at all impressed with me. He says, telling me about himself.
Yeah.
He says, stop being impressed about it, because he's not at all impressed with his Jefferson lifetime. I mean, none of it. It's just, and he was Jesus's brother in Jesus's last lifetime before he was
ascended. Fascinating.
Yeah, he's very close to Jesus.
Yeah. So that's why they like to come in together. And do you have the same opinion on other religions or just Christianity?
Right now, my current blog post, which people can read, my blog post is available weekly at robertagrimes.com. And my current blog post is entitled "All Religions Are Human-Made and Basically Nonsense."
Sorry.
All nonsense.
I don't mean to laugh, but I love how simple, right?
They're all human-made. They're not of God. And they get between us and God.
Yeah. Right. They're meant to make us
One
smaller.
Of the reasons Jesus came was to abolish all religions. And I go through in the blog post I am writing for this Sunday, I show you right in the Gospels where he says that. But no Christian reads the Gospels. I'm sorry to say that. They just don't read it. They don't read what Jesus said.
Because they have a mental block, do you feel?
Yeah, mental blockheads, perhaps. I have no idea.
So
I discovered all of this as a teenager. And then because I was reading the Gospels cover to cover, remember, I'm the kid that somebody spoke to out of a light. And I took it all very seriously, but I couldn't believe either that Jesus was he couldn't have meant that. Oh, of course he didn't mean that. But yeah, that's what he meant. 2,000 years ago, he tried to get us to give up religions and relate to God on our own. He said, when you talk to God, go into your inner room, close the door and talk to God in secret. And God, who hears in secret, will hear you. Jesus said that. Nobody does that.
Yeah. As a child, I did feel like I had a direct connection with God. And it's interesting because my son's going through a little bit of struggle right now. So we thought church would be good for him. But I think there's a part of him that, he knows the truth because you just shared it with him. So he says, I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. But he said it's hell. He wants to burn all the churches down. I'm not religious.
You tell your son he's on the right track. Tell him Roberta will give him the matches.
Oh,
Will not bail him out of jail. I'm sorry.
yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe he shouldn't, on second thought, do that.
Yeah.
But,
I know you're teasing. I know you're teasing, but I find it kind of interesting because I'm looking for help for him and
how old is your son?
he's 11.
Bless his little heart.
Bless his heart.
Precious Tyke. Oh, 11. Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
I have an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Tell him Roberta said not to do that. It's probably not a good idea.
Okay. Well, so did you always have a special connection with Jesus, like have a little conversations with him? And why is he important?
No, not when I was younger. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, not till I was quite old, really.
And why is it important now to realize the truth about him?
Because now he has chosen to speak to us directly. He waited until the Christian, frankly, for the past 1700 years, he has been healing literally billions of Christians who have been damaged by the religion. I mean, think about it. We had the Crusades, we had the Inquisitions over and over again. So many billions of people have been damaged by Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
Even the people who were not damaged overtly and physically were damaged emotionally by the fear that's been instilled in them by Christianity.
Yeah. Well, I noticed in one of your talks online, you were talking about levels 4 and 5. What does this mean for us as humans?
The astral plane.
Okay.
Actually, the lowest level of the astral plane is gigantic. I should first say that. It is as large as the universe on each of its levels. We know that for sure, and it may be quite a bit larger. The material level is probably the lowest level, and that's where we are. And above it, in vibration, but in the same place, are all the astral levels. The lowest astral level is what Jesus called the outer darkness. That's level 1. Level 2 is the recovery level. Level 3 through 5 are what the Vikings called the Summerland levels. They're beautiful.
I was speaking with another afterlife specialist, Dr. Craig Hogan.
Yes, my dear beloved friend Craig. Yes.
Oh, yeah, you guys are friends. Okay, so you speak a similar language,
yes,
but a little bit some differences. Yeah.
And level 3 is where most of us enter the afterlife. The afterlife is a little sort of slice out of the astral. And so level 3 through 5 are the Summerland levels. Level 6 is what's called the causal or mental level. Level 7 is the source level. But they're all gigantic in size. They're all as big as the universe. They're all in the same place. They just are at a higher vibration. If you think of channels on a TV set, you just go to a higher channel and it's all in the same place.
That's interesting. I talk about that in terms of manifesting in your life, that it's just shifting your vibration and changing the channel and getting in alignment with those reality, because that reality, if you can imagine in your mind, exists. And it's just changing the channel. So that's great.
Yep.
So how can we hear the voice of God and live an inspired life?
The voice of God is in your mind. It just doesn't shout.
It's soft. It's loving.
You have to quiet all the shouting, and you'll hear the voice of God.
Mm.
If you quiet everything else, the voice of God is always there.
So you could do that maybe through breath or meditation, being out in nature. What are some ways that we can do that?
What I do is just say the Lord's Prayer in my mind, and then I'm very still, and I can hear the voice of God.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes all it does is breathe.
Yeah. Well, what's
You have to make
next?
space for it, though. Most people will
You have to
not
make space
allow.
for it.
Most people
Right.
have too much to say to God. That's the problem.
Right. Because
Talk.
because it's the prayer is the opposite of what really is important, because you don't want to pray. You want to just be.
That's right. You have to get out of the way and listen.
Ooh, I love that. Because I always thought, like, I never wanted to pray and ask for something from God, or like, I never felt that would work, to be honest.
Most people have too much to say to God, and you can't.
Yeah, like, why did this happen or whatever?
No, you have to listen. Only listen. My feeling is,
That's right. I guess it's got the message. That's right. They're agreeing with you.
I know that there's nothing I have to say to God. To begin with, right now, open the top of your head.
Mm-hmm.
Big hole. And from now on, there's no more skull there. There's nothing but a big empty hole. And anything God wants to say to you comes right in. And you just whatever you want to say just can come right in. And so I'm always receptive. And whatever I'm thinking, no matter how disgusting it may be, is going to go right to God. And whenever you think about that, which is true anyway, you'd be amazed how you immediately clean up your act. You stop thinking anything unpleasant. You stop thinking anything nasty about anybody else. You immediately forgive everybody. You immediately forgive everything. You stop thinking so many bad things about other people. You really do. You forgive everybody.
Is that like getting into the unity consciousness?
I didn't even think about it. It's something I thought out myself years ago.
Yeah.
Because God can hear all my thoughts anyway. I said, okay, I'm just going to share them. And I opened up the top of my head and said, here goes. Whatever I'm thinking, God is welcome to know. And you'd be surprised how when you think about that, it cleans up your act so much.
Oh, interesting.
And then I also told, when I was blogging about that, I called it cleaning up my living room. You know, God invite God into your living room, but first clean it up.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking, so I'm always praying. Okay, I'm going to pray only in gratitude affirmations. Thank you for my son-in-law's health.
Yes.
One of my son-in-laws has cancer. So I've added thanking God for his health to my morning's prayer.
Yeah.
Thank you for, if someone is not doing well in some way, thank you for the fact that he's doing well or she's doing well. That's the only way I pray. I never ask for anything, because if you ask for something, you're affirming that you don't have it.
That makes sense.
Always thank God for the gift, affirming that you already have it.
Yes.
Then you're much more likely to get it, right?
Beautiful.
And you sort of clean up your whole life that way. But so often even that strikes me as asking too much of God, because God knows what I want. God already knows, because God is in my living room all the time. So
Yeah.
I just sit in the stillness with God.
Mm.
And, I listen.
Mm.
If you do that, sometimes you hear things. Sometimes you don't. But I'm not going to expect God to say anything to me.
Yeah. Or sometimes there might be other messages, like a feather or nature becomes more vibrant, or
Sure.
through another person could say something.
And some, I get emails from people because I invite them at the end of every one of my podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, if there's anything you want to say to me, this is how you send an email. So sometimes I get emails from people who are in great pain. Sometimes it's a widow who's desperate. My husband died, and he was young, and
Mm-hmm.
and then sometimes I'll hear, Jesus has a little accent. I don't know what the accent even is, but he speaks pretty good English. But it's a little. Sometimes I'll hear Jesus say, "Tell her I'm here with her, and I have her husband."
Oh my God, that's incredible.
I hear Jesus say that. So I will say in the answering email to that person, because as soon as I read it, I know Jesus is reading over my shoulder, and I'll say, Jesus is with you and has your husband.
Yes.
And I'll never hear from her again.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is beautiful. It's such a simple thing. Well, it's been such a pleasure connecting with you and learning about your book, The Fun of Loving Jesus. I'll put your website and how to order your books in the show notes. Thanks so much for being on my show today, Roberta. It was unexpected. It was like, what? No.
Yeah, it was.
So have a blessed day. Much love.
You too, my dear. Big hug.
That's it for today's episode of Zen Success. Head on over to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you listen to shows. Subscribe to the show and share with friends. Be sure to head on over to ZenSuccessShow.com to help you on your Zen success journey. And join us on the next episode. May you find your own Zen success in life.